August 18th is known as the hardest day. And you might be thinking, which one? I mean, the calendar is pretty crowded with days that were very difficult for people, both in terms of historical events and, of course, in terms of their personal lives. But this one refers to August 18th of 1940, and it was the hardest day in the Battle of Britain. The Battle of Britain, obviously, is pivotal to the outcome of the Second World War, not to the Allies winning it, but to their not losing it. And Churchill's remark about never, in the course of human history, have so many owed so much to so few, does underline the importance of the battle. And it's celebrated in Britain on Battle of Britain Day. But that's September 15th. That is the last really massive German attack on London. And the Germans suffered heavy losses that day. But August 18th, in some ways, is a more important day. It is the day on which the combined losses on the two sides were largest. Just about the largest aerial engagement of the Battle of Britain in terms of planes on both sides. And it's a useful reminder to us that when we commemorate a historical event, when we have a Battle of Britain Day or we have a Remembrance Day, it is a way of focusing the commemoration of all that was done by everybody who contributed to an outcome as dramatically positive as that of the Battle of Britain, or in other cases, who fought so valiantly for a cause that in the end was lost anyway. I haven't forgotten Harold Godwinson and the Battle of Hastings. I still think he did deserve to be King of England. But when it comes to the Battle of Britain and this German strategy, they did try to destroy the RAF's airfields on Adler Day, one of those great vainglorious eagle days. That was August 13th and it didn't work. Then they went after Fighter Command on the hardest day and they were defeated. And it was a close run thing. And we always have to remember the Battle of Britain, the number of people, the number of nations who had fighters in the air over the Channel and over southern England in those days. I mean, obviously the British, the Canadians, but also the French, the Czechs, the Poles. There were even flyers there from Caribbean nations like Jamaica and Barbados. And the same is true, of course, of the war generally, of the people who served in obscure theaters, who fought in battles nobody's ever heard of, but whose contribution was also pivotal. And writing about being in Burma in the late stages of the war, George MacDonald Fraser commented that the size or importance of a battle is no gauge of its unpleasantness to the people actually involved. But it's also true that the later historical prominence of a battle is no measure of how much more it mattered than what was done on earlier occasions by people who made that great day possible, people who made victory possible by preventing defeat at an earlier stage, people who served in all kinds of other capacities. And it's interesting, on the hardest day, the airplane losses are almost always exaggerated. It's hard to keep track of things in aerial combat, and people tend to remember with advantages what happened. The Germans lost 70 aircraft maybe, which doesn't sound like a lot considering that they had 2,000 when they started the Battle of Britain. But how many days can you afford to lose 70 aircraft before not only operational effectiveness, but also morale are dramatically impaired? So the hardest day was a tremendous victory and a reminder of all that goes into all those victories that we celebrate on more spectacular occasions than August 18th, the hardest day in 1940 in the Battle of Britain.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of The Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.